Thanks for clicking on this video. Be sure to subscribe and click the bell icon and turn on all notifications to keep up to date with the latest information and discussions. Universe 6, you may as well have just gone home. Hey guys, MasakoX here. We are back with the 5th part of what was originally meant to be a simple April Fool's joke, but instead garnered so much love and praise that it was only fair to continue it as if it were a legitimate scenario like all the other ones, with an added bonus. That bonus being that we can be a little bit more zany here than we can be in a traditional what if. You know, kind of sticking to the logic of Toriyama or within the logic of the Dragon world. I mean, whatever logic is even in there. Here though, we can play around a little bit more in order to see what this version of Broglie can do in regards to his interactions with the other characters. And believe me, from what we've seen thus far, they've been pretty fun. Now before you say anything, the Broglie in question here is not the new Broglie whom we are now accustomed to. This Broglie is sourced from the original 1993 interpretation led by Takao Koyama and designed originally by Toriyama. Had we wished to experiment about whether the new Broglie, solely penned by Toriyama, that we saw last year, whether he turned out to be good, then it would be a pretty short tale because he's already a good boy. He's just a little misguided by Paragus, that's all. As you might have expected, this scenario is all about what if the original Broglie had turned good. And FYI, this was an April Fool from last year. Now if you're new to this story, I suggest you go back to the first part and watch from there to get the full detail about what we're trying to accomplish here. But in summary, Movie 10 Broglie, instead of going ape when seeing Goten, suffered full-on amnesia and forgot why he was so angry or why he was even on Earth in the first place. From there, he forged a friendship akin to the Iron Giant, as it were, with the kids, which ultimately led him to become a full member of the Z-Fighters with no recollection of his anger towards Kakarot. He doesn't really say Kakarot in yelling words ever again. On the contrary, it had become something akin to admiration that he had for Goku. Who would have seen that coming? Well, that's the power of an April Fool's what if. So you can understand why I really needed the extra flexibility here in order to pull all of this off, and actually for you to enjoy it. In the last part, Broglie and Vegeta had worked together to eliminate Frieza, even with his golden form. Having utilized Whis' do-over ability, the Prince of All Saiyans together with his sidekick were able to realize the Saiyans' ultimate revenge, tanking Lord Frieza. Vegeta had finally gotten what he wanted. Granted with an assist from Broglie, but as far as the Prince was concerned, he was the one to avenge his people. And despite Vegeta not really caring about the Saiyans or the fate of planet Vegeta all that much anymore, this was, I think he could say, a personal victory nonetheless. He had done what Kakarot never did, and that was to truly wipe Frieza out of existence. Ha! Take that, Kakarot! And don't think that Broglie was out of the equation here, or he was just an accessory. He has his own story as well. Now we don't really have to worry about the whole Kakarot thing anymore. Broglie needs some kind of guidance or something else to do with his time, and that came in the last part. Now, Broglie is on a quest to find a way of bringing back South Galaxy, a galaxy which he had, in a past life before he got the bump on the noggin, completely vaporized almost instantly. This was now his mission in life, and this is the thing that gives him some sense of direction, to repair the damage that he had caused. When the three Saiyans returned to Beerus' world and trained some more, after the Resurrection F arc, Champa and Vados arrive to discuss arrangements for Champa to take Universe 7's Earth for himself because of the food, and his Earth is broken. Beerus doesn't want that, and this ultimately leads to the 5 vs 5 tournament that we traditionally see at this point in Super's story. The winner of this tournament gets a wish on the Super Dragon Balls. That's it! Broglie now realizes what he needs to do. He's just got to win a tournament. Well, that was easy. With 5 days to gather challenges for the tournament, Universe 7 are looking for members. Well, I mean, I say looking. They actually pretty much already have the crew that they need. You know, it's just a formality. Broglie, Vegeta and Goku are already in, which leaves 2 spots remaining. Piccolo takes spot number 4 like he does in the original, with Gohan then declining because, oh you know, oh I don't want to miss my conference. Conference this, conference that. Alright, so much for that then, off we go find another thing. No, it's not that easy, Gohan, you're not getting out of this one. This whole thing actually really ticks Broglie off quite a bit. When Broglie first discovered Gohan, just after he had his amnesia, he viewed Gohan as a serious fighter whom controlled Broglie when he was a loose cannon back in the day. That's a lot of respect to have. Now, in a way, the legendary Super Saiyan here had begun to view Gohan as a bigger brother of sorts, sort of aping how Goten saw him. Now to see him reject this opportunity and reject all the values that he understood Gohan to have, all the while promising to improve after what happened recently, this is really galling for Broglie. This is him welching on that promise. How dare he? At first it's pretty calm. Broglie steps forward and pleads with Gohan to reconsider, but Gohan is insistent that, oh no, I have to be at the conference. But Broglie isn't listening. This is making him angry. This is something that Vegeta has been seeing more and more of lately, and this is beginning to worry the prince. Broglie losing his temper. It seems that with all of this new power coursing through his veins, the God Ki, having more and more of it overflowing, it has been giving the young man a lot of trouble. The only way that Vegeta has been able to control this is to train him harder to manage it all. Not having to use magical collars or amulets, no, just straight up training. Unfortunately, but also fortunately, they have been getting extra training from Whis, and now they've been getting stronger and stronger at a much faster rate, with a ki that Vegeta is relatively new to, and so therefore, things are getting a little bit out of whack. Broglie is losing more and more control, and this is what the prince fears might happen, possibly regressing back to his evil past and what they saw on that little fate with the comet Komori. Broglie then launches himself at Gohan, transforming into a Super Saiyan, leaving Gohan on the back foot, having to transform himself in order to defend. What follows now is pretty frightening. Broglie going slightly berserk, and Gohan desperately trying to not get himself or Broglie hurt. Goku all the while is just asking, what's going on? It's almost like we're seeing the original Broglie here. And Vegeta is looking really concerned, but it's also curious to see how Gohan deals with this because, after all, Vegeta did say in the original timeline at this point that Gohan had the most potential out of everyone present. If only he just decided to utilize that potential, he could have done great. So, now is the time to do so. Broglie is besting Gohan at every turn, with Piccolo figuring that he probably should step in, but Vegeta does so first. That's enough, Broglie! Cease! Broglie stops and powers down. In all of this training, the one person he had come to take orders from always was Vegeta. He collapses to the ground and catches his breath. He then apologizes to Gohan and remains quiet for the rest of the time there. Vegeta then turns to Gohan and rolls with what just happened, as if it was meant to happen. You see, Gohan, you have potential to handle the legendary Super Saiyan in battle. Why would you wish to squander such a talent as this? But I already told you, Vegeta. I have a job and a family to support. Support? Kid, you are the son-in-law to the richest martial artist in the world. You live in a mansion with a staff and everything taken care of for you. Believe me, I know what it's like, sort of. You are hardly in a state of squalor like Kakarot.
Wait, what?
The point is, Gohan, you want to support your family, really support them, you sign up for this team. Because if you don't, this world may cease to exist as you know it, and then there will be nothing left for you to support. Now this is what gets Gohan's attention. It's true. He did wish to get stronger to protect his family. It just took the right person to try and convince him. After some soul searching, he then agrees to take part in the tournament. Now, okay, why does he do this, Masako? Well, you see, it was a two-pronged approach. First off, Broglie's resentment for Gohan's disinclination to fight was one reason to take part, but at the same time, Vegeta needed to keep Broglie under control and in good standing with everyone else, because otherwise it would all fall apart. Making this out to be some kind of plan was the only way for everybody to still trust Broglie and not let on that Vegeta has been beginning to struggle with the Saiyan ever since them both acquiring the Super Saiyan Blue power and therefore God Ki. God Ki had not mixed well with Broglie's mind. Now with Gohan in tow, Piccolo and Gohan continue with their training, with the other three Saiyans retiring to the Room of Spirit and Time for the remaining 3 days that they have, all before the tournament takes place. Now inside the room, Vegeta focuses on strengthening Broglie's composure in the blue form, and it seemingly goes very well. The team then gather, Gohan in tow, for the tournament on the nameless planet where Universe 6 is ready to go also. On the way, Gohan and Broglie reconcile, and the former actually goes out of his way to say thank you. Thank me? Why? You gave me a kick up the backside, Broglie. I needed to figure out what my priorities were, and they're for my family. I mean, if I can't protect them the way I know best, then what good am I? I need to do this to remind myself of how lucky I am to have this life. Broglie doesn't know what to say to this, but a simple nod does the job. As for the entrance exam, all of the Universe 17 passed without too many issues. Goku and Broglie scrape by, with Gohan understandably getting the highest score out of everybody, which then impresses both Whis and Vados. Vados going, "Would you look at this, brother? A Saiyan with brains to match their brawn. I never thought I'd see the day coming from Universe 7 of all things." Understandably, Whis doesn't take this too kindly, but he's classy enough to not retort. At least not yet. The tournament then begins with the order and matches all the way up to Vegeta and Hit playing out the same way as they do before. Goku, Piccolo, and Vegeta successfully blitz their way through Batamo, Frost, despite his cheating, Vegeta, as well as Kaba with little stress. I mean, except for Vegeta's sweating out stint, of course. Kaba, though, with his interaction with Vegeta, reminds the prince of his relationship with Broglie, and thusly, he does treat Kaba with less bluntness than he does in the original. Recognizing, therefore, the young boy's plucky attitude, like Broglie had at the beginning, and the willingness to learn. This is just like Broglie was, but without the risk of going berserk ever playing out in his mind. Kaba, he's a calm boy. We then get to the fight between Hit and Vegeta, and as expected, it goes pretty much the same way as it did before, with Vegeta not being able to anticipate Hit's time skip ability. Oh, the days when the time skip ability was genuinely unbeatable. I miss those times. With Vegeta out for the count, Broglie is next up to try and figure against the seemingly unstoppable man of Hit. At first, Broglie is trying to figure out his actions, much like how Kakarot would, but it's not going much better than when Vegeta tried to do so, and it's getting Broglie a little frustrated. He tries again and again to outwit Hit, but it's no good. Hit is always 1/10 ahead of him, and whatever Broglie tries to do meets with nothing. Broglie's mind is too transfixed on his movements, much like his master, and it's causing him to play out his movements like a book. But there's one thing Hit didn't count on and something Vegeta didn't have, and that was Broglie's explosive temper. With each miss and each strike on him, Broglie is losing his cool. The Super Saiyan Blue power may be easier to control than before for him, but Broglie has rarely been bested by anyone since joining the Z Fighters. I mean, think about it. When was the last time that Broglie lost? I mean, apart from Beerus. This is the first time that he's truly been put on the ropes, and he does not like it. Fighting Beerus, he was in a form that he was used to, with the Berserk Legendary Super Saiyan power, that was fine. But now with God Ki, it's harder, and when Hit dodges him one more time, Broglie snaps. Broglie lets out a scream, and the arena starts to shake. His eyes white out, and he bulks up something major like he did back in the day. Vegeta is shocked and scared. Oh no. Broglie's blue hair grows outwards more and more, getting spikier and spikier. His pupils gone, and a look of mania across his face. Hit doesn't know what's going on, but he will soon enough. Hit goes to finish the job, but he misses. Broglie, in this Berserker blue power, is totally unpredictable. And that's where we're going to be leaving things for right now. So what do you guys think? Is Broglie's struggle for control seemingly valid? Do you feel that he will truly get a handle on it? Leave a comment below and let's get this discussion going. And I shall see you in the next video. Catch you later!